Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into something super exciting, Real World VoiceEQ. We're finally, and I mean finally, moving past those traditional, clunky metrics to measure genuine emotional intelligence in AI.
Let's start with a universal frustration. Why does voice AI still feel so awkward? Over the last few years, sure, these models have improved dramatically. I mean, they've got blistering fast latency, reaching true conversational speeds, and their word error rates are incredibly low. On paper, they look absolutely perfect. But anyone who actually uses these systems knows that something just feels off. They interrupt you right when you clear your throat, or they cheerfully ask for your account number while you're literally panic reporting a stolen credit card. No empathy whatsoever. They can sound like entirely different people mid-conversation, they totally miss our hesitations, and man, they really struggle with things like accents, background noise, or emotional speech.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the root of this awkwardness completely lies in our old benchmarks. Things like word error rate and latency. They're entirely focused on speed and technical accuracy, but they completely miss the critical acoustic layers that define natural human conversation. Real human dialogue isn't just about the words transcribed on a piece of paper. It's about tone, it's about emotion, speaker identity, and background context. When we only measure how fast and how accurately a model transcribes text, we are completely ignoring the very things that make a conversation actually human.
To show you exactly how AI systems that rely purely on written transcripts fail, consider this hypothetical scenario. Imagine a banking agent asking whether you recognize a potentially fraudulent transaction. Now, a confident yes and a hesitant, trailing yes have completely different meanings, right? We humans recognize that difference instantly. We use pacing, hesitation, and volume to figure out if someone is confident or uncertain. But for a voice model that only looks at the text transcript, both of those answers just say yes. It completely fails to grasp the true meaning because it misses all those crucial acoustic cues.
And this brings us to a real game changer from HumeAI. They've just introduced Real World VoiceEQ. This isn't just another dry technical test, it's a benchmark specifically designed to evaluate the human quality of voice interaction. It actually evaluates whether voice systems can recognize, produce, and respond to the acoustic info that standard transcripts just leave out. It is a massive step away from optimizing for synthetic, perfect conditions and a giant leap toward measuring real contextual resilience. Let's start a rapid-fire sequence here to truly grasp the massive scale of this benchmark, starting with the number 40. Real World VoiceEQ evaluates over 40 leading proprietary and open-source voice models. This is not a small sample size, folks. They are testing the absolute titans of the current voice AI landscape to see how they actually stack up in the real world.
Now, multiply that by 60. These 40-plus models are being tested against more than 60 different metrics, and those are spread across over 15 key evaluation dimensions. This means they're isolating very specific interaction qualities rather than just slapping a single monolithic, useless score onto a model.
But this is the number that really matters, 1 million. This entire benchmark is powered by over 1 million individual human ratings. These were gathered via Hume's flexible, voice-native platform called Kairos, collecting data across diverse demographics, speaking styles, and acoustic environments. I mean, they have 785,000 ratings just for text-to-speech alone, and another 48,000 for speech-to-speech. That makes this one of the largest human evaluations of voice AI ever conducted, literally unprecedented.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it captures the multi-dimensional reality of the full voice stack. We've got text-to-speech, focusing on expressiveness and natural flow, speech-to-speech, measuring true conversational intelligence, speech understanding, digging into emotional context, and ASR robustness, that's automatic speech recognition, testing how well a model handles noise and accents. This layered approach, this is exactly how voice AI quality is built in the real world. It's like a giant puzzle.
All right, let's dig into the findings, starting with a major mythbuster. Finding number 1. Progress in voice AI is becoming increasingly specialized. The race for a single best voice model? Yeah, that is officially over. When analyzing the text-to-speech evaluations, HumeAI found that not a single model configuration ranked among the top 5 across all capability groups. No way. Today's leading systems optimize for completely different strengths.
To understand why there's no single best model, you have to look at the specialized trade-offs developers are facing right now. A model that is incredibly technically precise, say it excels at repeating crazy complex pharmaceutical names, might completely struggle to sound empathetic or emotionally expressive. Or another model might sound remarkably natural but totally fail on precision-oriented tasks. You might even have a model that handles background noise beautifully but struggles to maintain a consistent speaker identity. You simply cannot assume universal performance anymore.
Finding number 2 is a massive revelation. Voice models are currently much better at speaking than they are at actually listening. During the evaluation, speech-to-speech models showed the widest variation of any category. Some systems were great at recognizing emotion, but terrible at responding naturally. And most shockingly, get this, even when agents had direct access to the audio, they often just ignored the paralinguistic cues. Things like pacing, hesitation, volume. Ignored. They remained largely transcript-driven.
And this brilliantly illustrates finding number 3. Traditional benchmarks are hiding massive real-world failures. Notice the huge spike in the error multiplier for noise-backed speech compared to music-backed speech. If you only look at a single blended background audio score, you completely hide this failure mode. Models that look totally perfect under ideal benchmark conditions often degrade rapidly, like instantly, when faced with real-world complexities like overlapping speakers or loud environments.
Which leads us to our next crucial insight. Human evaluation remains absolutely essential. Look, I know it's tempting to use large language models or speech language models to automate these evaluations. And sure, when Hume compared automated SLMs with trained human raters, the AI did pretty well on objective, verifiable tasks like pronunciation accuracy. But on subjective tasks, like judging if a voice actually fit a specific acting role or if it maintained a consistent emotional identity, the agreement absolutely plummeted. Automated evaluators sometimes just guess emotion based on text cues, which means they absolutely cannot replace human perception for acoustic, social, and emotional interpretation.
Let's move to and see how this builds into actionable strategies for developers. Word error rates and latency are now merely baselines. They are totally insufficient for production-grade systems today. So first, you need to define your exact deployment constraints. Do you need emotional tone, or do you need noise robustness? Second, treat model selection as a capability mapping exercise by matching your needs to those specific 15+ evaluation dimensions we talked about. And third, always validate against human-rated data to catch degradation before it reaches your users. So, the crucial point is this. Voice AI is no longer solely an accuracy problem. It is a multi-dimensional quality problem. Speed and technical perfection are no longer the deciding factors here. The AI models that people and enterprises will ultimately adopt are the ones that actually understand, express, and respond to the true complexity of human conversation. They have to go beyond synthetic benchmark optimization and achieve real, genuine contextual resilience.
To wrap up, I want to leave you with this provocative question to reflect on regarding your own tech interactions. Is your AI truly listening, or is it just waiting to speak? Because, as we've seen today, hearing the words and understanding the human behind them are two entirely different things. I highly encourage you to explore the Real World VoiceEQ public leaderboards for yourself to see how your favorite models stack up. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.